Joseph,
What's
what's
up?
up, man? So, can we start with our new intro theme, please?
Yes, we can.
All
A
right,
new
let's do it.
era.
Yeah. I love it, dude. It's so good.
I
Welcome
am
to
a
Socratic
fan.
Sports. Oh, yeah, I am a fan too, dude. I'm glad we found that one. But
Yes.
welcome to Socratic Sports, episode 8. We're diving into a few things today. We got the NBA playoffs going on, the NHL playoffs going on. We're going to get into the drafts, both the NFL, which I know is a few weeks past, but we haven't had a chance to talk about it. So we're going to get into that. Talk about the NHL draft, as you mentioned to me off of this, which I didn't even know was happening because Joey is a way bigger fan than I am with the NHL, but I do represent my Rangers, representing New York. Well, I'm from
That's
Jersey, but I'm not a
that's
Devils fan.
tough right now, but I
I
respect
know,
it.
I know. Yeah, so let's get started, man. So we're gonna talk about the NBA playoffs to start with.
Let's jump
So
into it.
far, yeah. So give me your thoughts, man. What do you think about the playoffs so far?
Well, I am excited, but mostly remiss because you know how big I am into my brackets. So I went ahead and I made a bracket. I actually made 2. And if it wasn't for those stupid Bucks, I would have a perfect bracket right now. Can I share my screen for a second?
Yeah, go for it, dude.
So
I like these new features too. So as you guys
yes.
notice, we are side by side. We have a new setup. Just makes it easier. I mean, as you guys know, we've talked about this before that, due to our real jobs and what we really do, it's hard to do this. So we found a way to be able to do this more and out of the comfort of our homes, or even if we travel. So yeah, now we're able to do things like this, share our screen, which Joey is doing right now, which is totally awesome and cool, dude.
So,
dang, that looks good.
I don't be fooled by the percentage, because that will continue to go down. Because not only did I have the Bucks winning in the first round, I had them meeting the Suns in the final. But
good call on the Heat Knicks, though.
The Knicks Cavs, yes, I was proud about that one, and I was proud of Lakers over Grizzlies.
That is, yeah. That's really good picks right there.
And see, I'm running with the Sixers too. I think the Sixers are gonna pull it over the Celtics.
I don't know, man. I mean, they pulled it out yesterday. Don't get me wrong, but it could have gone either way, and it went Philly way. I think the Celtics, honestly, I wouldn't agree with you after the first game, because the first game they didn't have Joel Embiid, and then they pulled out that game and they won. Harden did his thing. I think he scored like 48 or in the 40s or something like that. But they looked real good without Joel Embiid. So you think, okay, let's add Joel Embiid, and we can win this series.
We can actually look at this.
But the next 2 games, they went down. Philly did, but Philly pulled it off yesterday. Overtime win. They look really good. And you know what? Shout out to PJ Tucker, man. I don't know if you saw that, and I don't know what you're trying to do right now, but it's not
I was trying to reload something. Yeah. Well, technical difficulties. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second.
But shout out to PJ Tucker, man. That, I don't know if you saw that, like at the end,
where he got the rebound, put it right back up.
Yeah, he got the and one and made the free throw. But besides all that, I don't know if you saw him tripping in Joel Embiid's. Yeah, dude, was just like that's the kind of leadership you need.
I agree.
And he was trying to hype them up. That's exactly. I mean, the Celtics were down, I think, what, 15 or
See, that's what I
16
was
or
trying
something
to
like
pull
that.
up the score of the game. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, they were down by double digits for sure, and then the Celtics came around and just came back and took the lead, and it was just a good back and forth. So with you saying that you still got, you still on Philly, I mean the Celtics, man, you can't count them out, man. You really
I
can't.
just I know, but with them making it to the finals last year and then losing, and I don't know. I believe in Doc Rivers more than Joe, the Celtics head coach, and I don't know, man. I think Joel's gonna find it. He won the MVP. I don't think he's just gonna flame out like this. I think it will go 7.
Yeah,
But
I wouldn't
I
I
I
wouldn't be
think
surprised if it did either.
I think the Sixers pull it out. I mean, I picked them in my first bracket. I'll run with the
Yeah.
Sixers. And at this point, if the Sixers make it past the Celtics, whether it's the Heat or the Knicks, I think they beat either one in the Eastern Finals.
Yeah, I agree that I think either team,
Yeah.
whoever, I don't think the Knicks. I think the Knicks are. I want to say, and we could talk, and we could shoot, jump into the Knicks Heat. I think the Knicks are either a season or two away, or a big man away.
Yeah.
From being like real contenders. I'm not saying they're not contenders right now, because obviously they're in the playoffs, but to win that championship, I mean, if you look throughout each of the teams right now, I mean, if you look at the Celtics with Al Horford, if you look at Philly, Joel Embiid, if you look at
Al Horford's
Lakers,
turning
AD,
back the clock.
He is.
I was shocked at Al Horford's performance last night.
Yeah, no, it was spectacular. His defense against Joel was out of this world, dude. If you look at the Nuggets, Jokic, every team right now, I think the big man is like is the it factor right now. You have a big man, you can go far in this. Minus Giannis, I don't know what happened there, but
I don't know what I think his
yeah.
injury was a lot worse than he was letting on to.
Okay, and it could be that.
And
Yeah.
The Bucks, I'm mad at myself because you can never count out the Heat, and I should know that. Eric Spoelstra, I mean, probably you have an argument for him being the second best coach in the league. I'm not quite ready to put him over Popovich.
And not even the second. And sorry to cut you off, but I just want to say this real quick. Yeah. This dude be like, you understand? Yeah, the second best coach in the league, he could be. But if I think about it overall, he is one of the best coaches that's coached in this league. I think.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the few people that was kind of able to gel with LeBron. I mean, as much as I respect LeBron, he doesn't really have the best history of getting along with coaches. But he gelled with them. He's one of the few to put together a legitimate big three and actually have it work. I mean, like Brooklyn tried to follow that game plan with Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett.
Yes. Yeah.
And I hate that I can't remember the third
I'm about
one.
To say Ray Allen.
But
it's gonna drive me crazy.
It's gonna drive me crazy.
I figured it out.
But but it actually worked for them. So yeah, I have a lot of respect for Spoelstra. I'm mad at myself for underestimating them, but also it's the Bucks. They're 2 years removed from a championship. We know, what Giannis is about. I think to do it in
Do you think the firing of the coach? Do you think the coach remove will something to change next season?
I mean, I think something had to happen. So I'm not.
We needed a full
super. Yeah, I'm not super. Which we'll touch on this when we get to the NHL. But your Rangers also. I'm not super surprised that Coach Bud got let go. If they would have made it out of the first round and lost in the semifinals, like maybe to the Knicks, I think he stays. But losing in 5 to an 8 seed, a team that barely beat. Was it the Raptors they had to beat just to make an 8 seed? think it was the Raptors. They barely beat the Toronto Raptors, the Heat, and I don't know. It's just at the end of the day, you got to win, and he didn't make it happen. I think what they looked at was this combined with 2020. They had a pretty abysmal bubble showing when they were also one of the dominant. Like they've been a dominant team for a while, but if you take away 2021, which I mean, you should never take away a championship. That's what it's about, and it's impressive. They've underperformed, honestly, the Milwaukee Bucks with the talent they have. Giannis himself hasn't, but the team as a whole, I think you can make a case they've underperformed.
And that's what I'm saying though. Like you mentioned, they have a championship under their belt with him, Giannis. Yeah. That you have one season, the best record in the East. The whole season they were dominant. They get to the playoffs. They had a downfall. Giannis was hurt where he was out the first 2 or 3 games. And so it's hard to, when you have those hurdles, it's hard to maintain that performance, that having the best, record in the league and going into the playoffs. I mean, it is hard.
Yeah.
And so, and you can tell in sports, like, it's a cutthroat league, like all over sports, not just, basketball, just all over. It's hard to coach and maintain this. But I mean, is it to the point where you have the best record and get kicked out of the first round, which sucks, but is the answer, well, let's fire the coach? Like,
so,
because technically the coach is not the one. I mean, and we talk about this all the time, and I've seen this in interviews and other places. The coach is not the one that's out there playing. He's not the one out there that's missing these shots. So how many, like, all the times you hear, okay, and I'll put it like this. Michael Jordan. I mean, we know the greatness of Michael Jordan. We know he's the best basketball player to ever play the game, right? But how many
that's
times
your opinion.
Do we say, well, I mean, majority of people would say
I agree,
that.
Yeah,
I think they did a around the league thing about who was the best player ever recently, and I think it was 51% of the league voted for Michael, and like 30-something% voted for LeBron. My point is that we know about Jordan and his greatness, and we still hold him to that to this day as, again, in a lot of people's opinion, the best player to ever play the game, right? But how many times do we hear what an amazing coach Phil Jackson was? Like, because so when Michael Jordan left to play baseball, Phil Jackson still coached that team and they still lost.
Yeah.
Right? They lost in the playoffs. I don't think they even made the playoffs like the first year or something like that.
I know that I don't remember. I know the Rockets won.
Yeah.
They won the championship.
They won twice.
In between. Like during that time Jordan was gone.
Then they went back to back? Or
no, I thought Jordan came right back after the Rockets won.
Oh, did he? Okay.
I'm not, again, I was pretty young when I don't remember that.
Yeah. I think, I know it was one for sure. I don't know if it was two, and that's something I researched. But, anyway, I'm just saying, I feel bad for Coach, what's this?
Budenholzer.
Yeah. I'm it sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, great players. You have a great player, a great organization. Everything is going good, and then he was the downfall, which I don't think. I mean, again, but it is a cutthroat league, so it is what it is. But real quick, because we want to get on the next topic of the NHL. But so in the West for the NBA, Lakers. I see the Lakers. Man, it's just hard to. I don't see that same wow factor from Golden State. Like, in past years. I think they're trying a little too hard. And I think LeBron, I'm telling you, I don't know if you saw, like, after game, I think it was game 2 when they played in Golden State and Golden State blew them out. And LeBron left the court, and their coach was right there, and they just looked at each other and smiled. There wasn't like oh man, we just got our butts kicked and all this stuff. they just looked. They was just like, all right, cool. And then they came out game 3 blazing. Like they played unbelievable. So if they have that same mentality tonight, because they are playing tonight, yeah, I think the Lakers got it.
So yeah, I'll wrap this up real fast. Obviously, my first bracket, I picked the Suns to win it all. I will say, up until last night, with all the stuff that went down with the Nuggets, I would have said the Nuggets now. I think the Nuggets are a force to be reckoned with. But I think the whole debacle, whether or not Jokic gets suspended, I think the whole...
He's not. I saw a report that says
really?
He's just getting fined $25,000. Yeah, he's just getting a fine.
Gotcha.
That's it.
I still think that will overshadow and maybe sit in the back of his mind. And
Chris Paul is out the next game also.
Yeah, but the Suns are playing better without Chris Paul, which is weird.
That is crazy. Like, I was thinking the same exact thing. Dude, I'm like, do they even need him?
Yeah. I mean, no, you got something when Jokic puts up 53 and you still win the game. So
yeah.
I don't know. I think this will go 7, but I think the Suns will win this game, and I think they'll ride it to the finals. I agree with you about the Lakers. You can't count them out, but
yeah. You can't count on. I'm not saying you can't. I mean, not counting on Golden State, because again, if Clay gets hot, that's the X factor to me. If Clay gets hot, I don't think the Lakers stand a chance. But if they could contain Clay, I think they have a chance. I think again another tough series with Denver and the Suns. Essentially it's Booker and KD against Jokic and Murray. I mean, that's exactly what it is. And out of those matchups, who can keep the momentum going? Yeah. Right now, it's 2-2, and this is what I'm enjoying in the series so far. Everything is close. All games are 2-2, except for, I think, the Knicks and Heat. I think the Heat up 2-1. And they're playing right now, actually. So if the Heat takes a 3-1 lead, I think it's a wrap for the Knicks. I think the Heat moves on. I don't think they're coming back from that.
Yeah, I agree with
that.
But
yeah, I think the playoff so far has been really good. And it's been exciting. So we'll see where we at next episode. But for now, let's move on to the NHL.
All right,
let's talk about your one of your favorite sports. And I know you could go on and on about this, but I will let you take the lead on this one. But I do want to say one thing, I just want you, because I want a little what's the word I'm looking for? I want a little, like, I guess, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but just a little pat on the head, or like a little pat on my back.
Good to you.
Did or did I not say that Florida was a force to be reckoned with?
Yes, you did.
Dang it.
Yeah,
oh man!
Yeah, it
3-0, dude.
It is a wrap on the Maple Leafs.
Man,
Toronto is. Oof.
They are playing.
This one is gonna hurt for Toronto.
Yeah.
So, talk about fall guys. Sheldon Keefe, the coach of the Maple Leafs, he will be gone.
You think?
100. So here's something I've noticed about the NHL. More than any other sport, teams burn through coaches. It's the oddest thing. They don't give a lot of wiggle room to coaches. Perfect example. Gerard Gallant, the Rangers head coach. This was the end of his second year. He took the team to the Eastern Conference Finals last year.
Yeah.
You're gone. Now, I think what that came down to ultimately was we went all in on the trade deadline. We got Tarasenko and Patrick Kane, and you can't even beat the New Jersey Devils that are led by a 21-year-old.
But dude, if you look at and we've talked about this off of this, the Devils they're young and they're hungry. Dude, they was going up and down that rink like it was no tomorrow. And the Rangers just looked like the first 2 games. And we were, I know I was. Those first 2 games, I'm like, man, we got this.
Yeah.
Up 2-0.
I thought it was going to be a sweep.
It's like these young kids are not ready. But they just turned it around, dude. They looked unstoppable, man. And I think
Yeah,
the same
I'm
thing is
impressed
happening
with the
right now.
Devils. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the same. They were down 2-0. Now it's 2-1. But at 8-4 was the final score for that game. Was
That
it? It was it last night or the
nuts.
day?
Yeah, it was last night. It was
Yeah.
yesterday during the day. I think it was the
Yeah.
first game of the
Okay.
day.
But dude, they went and if this is a repeat of what we saw against the Rangers, the first
Mhm.
two games, they were just like trying to figure it out, and now they're just like they found their mojo, and they look so good, dude.
Yeah.
So and
So
then yeah, go ahead.
I like that. I think that's the biggest takeaway from this postseason and something that makes it one of the more exciting postseasons to me in a while is you have a changing of the guard.
Yeah.
So it really is an out with the old, in with the new.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and before the playoffs even started, you've got no Ovechkin, no Sidney Crosby. Penguins haven't missed the playoffs. I
That's a
think
good
since
observation.
Crosby's like second year in the league, they were on like a 16-year playoff streak. So, and then even when you get into the playoffs, Boston, who's an older team, which we'll get to Boston, older team, Colorado, and even the Rangers to a certain extent, because they brought in older guys, all out in the first round.
Yeah.
And then look who's moving on. The Seattle Kraken, who's second year in the league.
Who's up
Who
2-1
looked
right now.
awesome against the Stars. And even the Stars, yes, they have Pavelski, who's older. Yes, they have the hometown hero in wow, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. It'll come back to me. And they have Tyler Seguin, all older guys. But who's really pushing this train forward? It's Jason Robertson. It's Jake Ottinger in the net. It's all really, it's their defenseman, Rupi Hintz, and then the guy they took third overall in the 2017 draft. It's all young guys. It's very interesting. And the Panthers. So here's one thing I will say about the Panthers. And again, I'm going to say I'm mad at myself because, and obviously hindsight is always 2020. The Panthers won the President's Trophy last year with the best record in the league. They made it out of the first round and they got swept by the Lightning. The Lightning, another team, they lose in the first round. That's a team that's on its legs. But the Panthers make it out of the first round, get swept by the Lightning in the second round. But they say, hey, we have a really good core. It's a young core. What do? They go out and get Matthew Tkachuk, another young guy. They just kept building, and they ended the season on a heater. Like, I think they won. I don't know if they won the most games in March because of the Bruins, but they were up there. So, is the upset of the Boston Bruins surprising? Yes, I still think it's surprising because look, you won 65 games, most any series. But not just that, you were up 3-1 in the series. Yeah. And you can't win one more game. But what the Panthers are doing to the Maple Leafs right now, that shouldn't surprise anybody, myself included. Yeah. I'm mad at myself. So kudos to you. Right now, Panthers, I think the Panthers are going to win the Stanley Cup. I really do. I think the Florida Panthers are going to win the Stanley Cup. Like, I don't see who's going to stop them. I mean, Hurricanes, if they were at full strength, maybe. But they're all injured. Even if they make it past the Devils. I don't know. The Florida Panthers are on another level right now.
I totally agree with you as far as the Panthers being in the Stanley Cup. Like, I totally agree with that. And the main reason why I agree with that is because I see the Devils Hurricane series going 7. Right? And the Devils just went 7. Yeah. Now they go another 7. And then to play Florida, who's, if they do close it out, is now have all the time in the world to get ready to play in the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah. And then go into the Stanley Cup after that. I mean, they're going to be so rested that, this is all in their favor right now. And so I totally agree with you that definitely in the East, I see Florida coming out of that. And honestly, and I would not be surprised if we see a Panther versus Kraken Stanley Cup Finals. That dude, the odds in the beginning of this of the season to put money on that, you would be making a killing right now, dude.
You know what?
But I wouldn't be surprised.
You know what I'm actually kind of excited for? I feel bad because I would like to see the Stars advance. I'm not like a diehard Stars fan, but I like to see them advance. It's cool to see people get excited about them. But if the Kraken do beat them, I would love to see a Western Conference Finals of the Vegas Knights and the Seattle Kraken. Your two most recent expansion teams are in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
That would be cool. So the last thing I wanted to ask you about this, obviously you can give if there's anything else you wanted to add about it, is going back to the Boston Bruins series. So Boston, greatest regular season NHL team ever. They lose in 7 to the Panthers. They were up 3-1 in that series. And also, game 7, they were up 3-2 with like a minute left. Just devastating way to lose. So we're going back 4 years now. So to 2019, you had the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Tampa Bay Lightning at that point set the record for the greatest NHL regular season ever. I don't know exactly. I think they were like 1 or 2 wins less than the Bruins. But at that point, it was the record. They got swept in the first round by the Columbus Blue Jackets. So obviously both insane. What do you think is a more tragic and almost just kind of like, how did that happen way to lose? What's a worse look? Getting swept by the Blue Jackets that the Lightning did, or being up 3-1 and losing in 7 games that the Boston Bruins did?
Honestly, I would, man, that is, I mean, both of them are tough, right? But the difference is, to me, is that Boston had the lead. Tampa Bay didn't even have a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to be that close, I mean, you talking about one game. I mean, we still talk about right now. I mean, it barely happens, but if we turn back to basketball real fast, when the Lakers were down, I mean, the Cleveland was down 3-1 to the Warriors and came back and won the championship. The Warriors are known for blowing that lead 3-1. Just need one more game.
Yeah,
they need 3 more games, to win. So having a lead like that, up 3-1, and then what's even the crazier part is that one of those games, or maybe both of those games, they have to go back home.
Yeah,
you're on your home ice.
Game 7 was played in the TD Garden.
Yeah,
they literally had the lead until a minute left in the game.
You have all the odds are in your favor, and to drop that ball. Now I get it. You have the best record in the league, or one like close to breaking the record, and you get swept. Getting swept, that sucks. You didn't even stand a chance. You didn't even have a fight into it. So the talk is about that. But the fact that what especially now in this day and age with social media and all the sports that goes on now, I guarantee, and I haven't really seen all of the interviews, but I can tell you this much, is that majority of everybody was saying, oh, Boston is up 3-1. I got Boston tonight. Oh, they lost last game. Oh, you know what? They ain't going to lose this game. Oh, it's 3-3. I think Boston will pull it out, and Boston didn't. So all the hype was on Boston winning this series, and it didn't happen. And so, I think you're right. Like you said, their coach, somebody has to take the fall for this. And
so I agree. I think it's Boston, and the same reasoning. You're up the entire series. You're up. You're either tied or you're up. You're up in game 7. There is 1 minute left, and you can't hold on. With the Lightning, by the time they're down 3-0, your morale is shot.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're just, maybe they could win one game, but you're a broken team. All the momentum is on the Blue Jackets side. It's again, not great. If you ask any Lightning player, they would be like, that sucked. Now they came back and won the cup the next year, so kudos to them and went back to back.
Yeah.
But the Bruins, and the last thing I'll do, because I know we want to move on to the next topic, to kind of bring this full circle, is in that last minute, again, the theme of the playoffs, the young taking over the old.
Yeah.
Boston's an old team. They're tired. Florida, with the youngsters, had the ability to turn it on when it mattered most. And that was the difference in the series.
Yep. I can tell you this much, though. The next 5 years, and the NHL is going to be good.
Yes.
I mean, it is going to be non-stop action. Like these, where all the young kids are taking over. The NHL just bought itself 5-10 years with these teams right
especially
now.
With the presumed number one pick being allegedly a generational talent on the level of Crosby, and his name is Connor Bedard. Or Bedard.
And let's go into that now. Let's talk about the draft. So you want to start with the NHL draft? We can start with that. And again, this is your wheelhouse, so
I'll just do it real fast. So NHL draft works the same way as the NBA lottery, NBA draft. Just because you have the worst record in the league does not mean that you get the number one pick. It means you have the highest chance of getting the number one pick. So currently, the Anaheim Ducks sit at an 18.5% chance, and then it's the Blue Jackets, and then Chicago, then the Sharks, so forth and so on. If you didn't make the playoffs, your little ping pong ball goes in the thing. I will say, typically, the team that has the best odds usually doesn't win it. I think the Blue Jackets will win the draft tonight, and they will take this young fellow out of Vancouver, Canada, named Connor Bedard, who is like the second coming of Wayne Gretzky, they say. So
really,
yeah, they said his shot is unlike anything they've ever seen. He's one of 14 Canadian players to ever get exceptional status, which means at age 16, he was allowed to play like with 18-year-olds and all these older people because they decided that he had the talent to do it. So,
wow. You're going to have to show me this kid.
He's...
I have to watch him.
But that's what I really have to say about the draft. So
yeah, the odds right now: Anaheim Ducks at 18% chance to have it. Blue Jackets, like you called, 13%. Blackhawks 11, Sharks 9, Canadians 9. That's the top 5 that they have.
And I don't even think the Ducks will get the second pick. I think it'll be Blue Jackets. I think the Sharks will get the number 2 pick, and then I think the Ducks will get. I think the Ducks can't fall lower than the number 4 pick, so I think they're going to get the number 3 pick. But
yeah, I mean, looking at this also, I mean, the odds, and I don't know how much this will help, but the 2 teams that I'm looking at right now that I'm like, and you mentioned earlier, like we have Penguins in here for Crosby, like adding someone to help Crosby, will that, elevate them next year? And then also the same thing with the Capitals. Will they bring in someone to help old man
Ovechkin?
Ovechkin, yeah. I mean, let's be real. Like, they are getting old. Like, there's no ifs, ands, about it. They're getting old. But I think,
I guess my bold prediction next year, if the Penguins and the Capitals are trending downward next year at the trade deadline, I think Ovechkin and Crosby both get moved.
Just traded
for one more shot at the Stanley Cup. So,
wow. Okay.
Kind of like a Patrick Kane deal this time. So.
Write it in stone. Joey is predicting that Crosby or Ovechkin will be on the move next year. If
the teams are trending down.
Yes.
Yeah. If they have a shot at making the playoffs,
then they won't. Yeah. Okay. Got it. But. Okay. And then on to the NFL draft.
All right.
So what do you think? Like, I mean, I know your boys had an amazing. The Eagles had, and you have them right there in your backgrounds. They had an amazing. God. Yeah. I mean, are we saying repeat because of this draft for them to be back in the Super Bowl
I will never
next
go
year?
that far. You know how I feel about my superstitions.
I know.
Let's see. Listen, football's a weird sport, man. Everyone's got to stay healthy. You never know. Yeah. So I hope they go back. We'll see. I mean, again, and not every first round pick materializes. So
That's true.
I
That
mean,
is
I
very
know
true.
the hype, but
So you
we'll
made
see
a
if
bold prediction on the NHL just now.
okay.
Do you remember what my bold prediction was with the NFL?
I
Do you
don't. You
remember what
gotta
I told you?
remind
You
me.
don't? What did I say about the Houston
I think you said
Texans?
Houston was gonna be better next year. They're gonna be over
How
500.
I think they'll be 9 and that's my bold prediction. If we
Okay.
make him bold prediction, I think that Houston Texans with this draft, yes, they're gonna have a lot of young players, but I think oh man, I'm drawing a blank right now. Who just left us to coach them?
Oh,
Oh, crap.
well, I feel really bad because
Yeah,
he was like an
I
Eagles legend.
um
It was your DC.
anyway,
Yeah. I'll look it
yeah,
up when you finish your thought.
yeah. So, but anyway, I think with that coaching staff, I think with these moves, I mean, they really like started with a quarterback,
D'Amico
then
Ryans.
D'Amico Ryan. There you go. Yeah, with him, and I mean, they started with a quarterback. They got a edge, a defensive edge. They got a center. Like I think their draft people. I think people
Mm-hmm.
will sleep on this draft, but I think they made some smart moves in this draft that helped them,
Yeah.
and I think it's just gonna bring more play. Like it's just gonna bring the spotlight to Houston. I think.
Yeah.
So I think they are. I think they're gonna be really good.
Moving back up for Will Anderson was, I know that was brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they gave up too much for Will Anderson. I think well, again, nothing's ever a sure bet. To me, he's as close to a sure bet in this draft as you can get. I think he is. He's a monster. He's going to be kind of like the next JJ Watt in Houston. So
I mean, I'll see this. I mean, you know me, I'm a huge Niners fan. I don't know what the heck we did, dude. I mean, but granted, we didn't have any picks, you know, in the first 3 rounds, or first 2 rounds. Our first pick was like number 87 or something like that.
I don't know. I feel like you guys didn't really have to do much though. Like I feel
Oh
like
yeah,
you're
that's
pretty
true.
set,
I mean,
so.
our big highlight was that we took a kicker at 99, like in the third round. Who takes kickers at 99? But you do that when you're pretty set,
Yeah.
like you're saying, you know. And so yeah, I agree with that. Did you see? So this kid, let me see if I can find his name. This kid put a highlight video together on social media and was like, "Hey, I'm just looking for an opportunity somewhere. Let me see. How did he put it? 6'4". His name is Isaiah Winstead. 6'4", 210. And he had a video of how he moved. Sort of like, I mean, he kind of reminded me of like a DK Metcalf sort of thing. He was at UDFA.
I don't even.
No, I'm sorry. I'm
What
sorry.
is that?
He didn't get it. So it says no mini camp invite or UDFA day. I think undrafted free agent.
Yes. Okay. I thought UDFA
So
was like a university.
yeah. I was like, I saw that. I was like, he's from UDFA. Where's that? I thought it was Florida or something like that. But anyway,
University of.
So I don't know where he played. I'm trying. Yeah. But
Free Arizona.
But he had 88 catches and 1,100 yards last season, but nobody picked him up, right? So he put this videotape showing all his highlights, and the 49ers signed him as as an undrafted free agent, right?
Okay.
Whoever the Pirates is, that's who he came from. I don't know. I'm looking at his
Seton
picture.
Hall. Does Seton Hall have a football team?
I don't know.
Yeah,
he played for the Pirates, but anyway. I mean, we picked up somebody like that, you know, another wide receiver. He seemed good. We'll see what he does. But yeah, I mean, we didn't have a spectacular draft besides that, and I said a kicker. So I can't. I mean, I want to talk trash about the Cowboys because I don't think they did anything. But you know, I mean, I can't talk trash because I think we were trash. You know.
So the funniest thing with the Cowboys, I think I told you this, you know, because we were watching the draft together, and after you left, I stayed. I really just trying to stay through do the Cowboys pick, and maybe for other reasons. But so the Cowboys get up. Obviously, we're in the Texas area, and everybody thought they were going to take Michael Mayer, the tight end from Notre Dame, and to the point where, like, on TV, they kept showing him, and they took. I think it's pronounced Mozzie, but Mozzie Smith, a defensive tackle from Michigan, could be good. I hate all things Michigan, so I hope he's not very successful. I'm sure he's a great person, just not a big fan of Michigan. And you just hear everybody, like, they're all about to, like, be like, what? And then they hear it and they're like, he just gets real quiet. You kind of hear, who? Who is this? So,
oh, man,
but yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I mean, again, I think Philly was amazing. I think Houston was great. Seattle had a really cool. I think did some great things. Especially,
I'm very curious about the cornerback they took, Devin Witherspoon. I mean, I watch a lot of college football. I did not hear of him. I didn't know who he was.
And again, that's what when scouts come in, I mean, they see things that other people are seeing. They had a great relationship with.
I hope he's good, but yeah, that one I was like, okay. So one that I think got praised a lot, and I was a little like, I think that's a reach. And maybe this just is because I don't really like this team. There's no reason not to like them. I just tired of people being like, this is our year with them. So the Detroit Lions taking Jahmyr Gibbs at 12.
Okay.
Listen, Jahmyr Gibbs, he's a stud. He was great at Alabama. 12, you take to me, he's not as, like, just game-changing running back enough to take that high. So, again, I hope he does well.
Who did you want to take?
I wanted to take Bijan Robinson. He was taking a pick before he went to the Falcons. He is a game-changing running back.
Right.
Because he does it all.
Do you think it's because he got that Gibbs? He has the Alabama name behind him.
So, and that's actually one thing I think I'll actually give him, and I think works in his favor in the sense of typically Alabama running backs, I feel like they do decent in the NFL. So obviously the most obvious one is Derrick Henry. But even Mark Ingram, I feel like had a decent NFL career. I know everybody likes to talk about Trent Richardson, how he's the big flop. But I don't know. I feel like typically, I think Najee Harris, if he can stay healthy, which again is pretty much the most important thing in the NFL because the best ability is availability. I think Najee Harris.
I think he passed his prime already.
We'll see. But I mean, again, he's good. I'll say this. I feel like you could have gotten Gibbs in the second round, but they went for it. They also had, interesting thing about the Lions is they had a second first round pick. So I wonder if that played into them taking him then. Because they're like, look, we could still go after a defensive player.
Right.
Which they did. Like, they took Jack Campbell, took the big linebacker out of Iowa. So, and maybe the mindset, again, is we need to win this year. And this running back gives us that kind of little push. So, we'll see. It's an interesting pick.
Yeah.
But
Packers?
Jets. The Jets, man. How are you get Aaron Rodgers and you take a defensive end? But what? Like, are you that? Listen, Garrett he's a stud. I mean, they brought in Alan Lazard. I guess Alan Lazard is good. I know he has got chemistry with Rodgers. I'm not a huge fan of the Jets O-line. And, like, you don't know what's going to happen with Mekhi Becton. The guy can't stay healthy. So you take a defensive end? I don't know. It was interesting, to say the least.
You think the Jets make the playoffs next year?
No, I do not. I think I've told you that already. I think I've told you that.
I just wanted to put it on camera.
I don't. I don't think they're
Who has a better season, Love or Rodgers?
I think Rodgers.
You have to think about it. I was like, what?
I think Rodgers. I think Rodgers, but like Love doesn't have anything. Like I think the Packers are gonna be abysmal this year. By the way, what do they have? Like what does he have?
Yeah, they don't have anything.
He's got an aging running back in Aaron Jones. All the receivers pretty much like it's not Love's fault.
So remember how I predicted the Christian McCaffrey being traded?
Yeah.
Same thing with Jones. That's my other prediction this year.
Okay.
I think he's going to be on the move halfway through the season. I don't think he's going to stay there. I think he's going to find somewhere else to be. Where? I don't know, but I think he'll be on the move.
So I guess since we're getting close to time, the biggest surprise to you in the draft, whether it's like a player sliding, a surprise pick, what a team decided to do in the position, was there anything that you were like, what is that?
I think my biggest surprise would be how many quarterbacks went.
Okay.
I mean, besides Will Levy, but
I think Will Levis was doing okay. Whatever was going on in that draft room.
That was tough, dude. But I was really surprised at the amount of quarterbacks that were taken. I mean, because like we said, we mentioned Houston. We mentioned, I mean, not mentioned, but so we had CJ Stroud, and then we had who went first? What's his name?
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young, yeah. Anthony Richardson.
Who I think, by the way, I think Anthony Richardson's in like 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years, ends up being the best quarterback in this draft.
Really?
Yeah.
But then what also surprised me too, if you look outside of the quarterbacks that went, and then we had what? Like again, we mentioned it was 2 running backs taken after that. But this was a really defensive or like a big guy friendly draft, I think. Mm-hmm. A lot of, offensive line, a lot of defensive line. I mean, from safety to linebacker.
Yeah, this was a very deep. This was a very deep O-line draft.
Yeah. And so that was a bit of. I mean, you and I was sitting at the bar, and we were just like, "Who?" Like a lot of the times, we were like, "Wait, what? What is going on?" So, yeah. What about you? What was your biggest takeaway?
So, obviously, Will Levis, I think, is the obvious one for me. Though
he just looks like a douche from the get-go, dude.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
Hey,
listen.
Not surprised.
When you're sitting in the back, I won't speak much more on what was going on in that back room.
With two beautiful, we can't decide who is his lady, who is his
I don't
sister.
know what was going on there, but if that's what it takes to live that kind of life, maybe I need to change my attitude.
You need to go to the draft.
I need to change my attitude.
The rock climbing championship league.
Hey, man. They're in the Olympics now. For me, it was Christian Gonzalez. The guy was the second best, highest rated cornerback,
and he
falls all the way to 17. I wish I understood why more. So he had so 2 other cornerbacks went ahead of him, but like you also had other defensive players go before. I don't know. I thought he was very good.
I mean, do you think he'll be an impact player for New England?
I mean, I don't see why not. Like, because I mean, you have the McCourty brothers retired.
I mean, that's the only reason I ask is because it's It's a tough division. I mean, again, we
It is a
talking the
tough
Jets, we
division.
talking Miami, and to have a rookie go out there and try to defend,
I mean, he's definitely getting thrown
Cheetah.
into the fire. Like,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I trust
Sauce
Bill.
Gardner, like all those. Yeah.
I think Bill will know how to scheme them, and
Yeah, I can see that too.
I don't know. I just, again, for as highly ranked as he was on draft boards, for him to fall that far was very surprising.
Breaking news: the Blackhawks win the #1 overall pick.
Okay. Okay, I know I say this a lot. I kid you not. My second pick after Blue Jackets was gonna be Chicago, just because.
So you want the order?
Okay.
Blackhawks.
Okay.
Number 2, Anaheim.
Oh my god.
Number
Blue
3,
Jackets 3.
Blue Jackets, and number 4, Sharks.
So the Sharks are actually the only team that, like, their odds said they would be number 4, and they actually got number 4.
Yeah.
The reason Chicago does not surprise me. Who did they just trade at the deadline? Patrick Kane.
Oh,
Patrick Kane was their number one, their number 1 overall pick in 07. Yeah. So here we are, just like our little show here. It's a new chapter for Chicago.
And they got next Wayne Gretzky.
This is what makes people.
What's his name again?
Connor Bedard. Which is interesting because
do some research on him.
The person in the NHL right now that most people think is the best player in the league right now is another Connor McDavid. So something about those Canadians naming themselves Connor.
It's a popular Canadian name.
I'll tell you what, though, this is actually an interesting topic. I know we're going a little over time, but this is what makes people think sports are fixed, though. Like, what are the odds that it's time for your franchise player to move on? The last time you had the number 1 overall pick, the guy you took, and you just happen to get another. In Chicago, I mean, I'm sure you know this. It's a major hockey town. Like,
yeah.
Like, they love their Hawks almost as much as they love their Bears and their Bulls. Like, it's a big hockey market.
I think you're saying this because you predicted wrong.
Maybe. Probably. But I'm telling, like, that's suspicious. Like, if the Sharks got the number 1 overall pick, okay, it's the Sharks. If the Blue Jackets got it, okay. You're telling me Chicago, which tries to steal the term hockey town from Detroit, when there just happens to be the next generational talent.
That is hilarious, dude.
Come on. Yeah, it's all fixed.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we shall wrap up episode 8. Thank you guys for tuning in.
I'm going to give myself this because I did a good job. There you go, Chicago. That's what cheaters get.
Shouldn't cheaters get something like a boo or
also,
something?
The last draft was in Montreal last year. Hold on, get this. Watch. No, listen to me. Last year's draft was in Montreal for the first time in like years. Do you know who had the number 1 overall pick?
Chicago.
The Montreal Canadiens.
Oh.
It's all fixed.
Oh my God. Anywho, Joseph, fun episode 8. This new format, I think, man, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I enjoyed it. I think it was a great way to actually do this and still be able to connect with our fans, the 6 people who downloaded it. Love you guys. Thank you for downloading it. And we need 6 more people to download it, and 6 more people after that, and 6 more people after that. So please spread the neus about Socratic Sports. You can
try to build something here, honestly, unlike Chicago.
Oh my God. So anyway, you can find us on YouTube, Apple, all the podcasts. We're all over the place. Please download, subscribe, share the news. Let them know that we're back, and we're going to be back a lot more often. Next episode will be on Wednesday. where we're going to talk about the rest of the playoffs that's been going on. I'm going to get into some fun sports that Joey want to talk about, aka his rock climbing, and
is that
try to get me
Wednesday?
to understand. Yes, it is happening Wednesday. Try to get me to understand his infatuation with rock climbing.
Does that mean I can wear my rock climbing outfit?
Please do. And please, behind you on that wall, put like the things, the opening scene, you should be on there and then just jump down.
My outfit's pretty revealing. I wear some very short shorts.
Okay, please don't climb then. But until next time, we got something to play us out, or do you just?
Do you want to do the same tune? Or we could do
the same
tune 3.
I think it was such a no. Let's do the same tune. I really like that tune. Let's do it. Here we go. Until next time, guys.
Draft is rigged. I'm stopping the recording.